Here's a religious site. As you can see, the aurora. Look how big this building is, and the aurora is shooting off that much. You're going to be able to feel that. That's going to penetrate through your own electromagnetic field, change your frequency, change your brain waves, and everything in between. What is up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Today's ASMR sip is nighttest.com. Keep on code Russo. ASMR Spritz, Intelligent Elephant, Argon. Hear your noises. Yo, can you guys like this video? This is going to be my first video of black-pilled spiritual biohacking. So I'm going to go into this segment. Like the video. I'm going to continue with this series if you guys are into it. But the first topic I wanted to touch on is the aurora. So the aurora is an electromagnetic field that comes off every single one of your friends, and it normally comes off the body around 1/8 of an inch. Everyone has an aurora, and it's based on your central nervous system's electromagnetic field around it. Now, we obviously know that 5G is being blasted at our auroras, and it's infiltrating our auroras, making us sick, more unhealthy, more on edge, unable to sleep. All these sorts of things come from 5G fucking up your aurora. A good way to test this out is go into New York City, go into Manhattan, go in the most high EMF environment, and then go to Montana, go into the country. You'll notice your aurora is more powerful in the country than it is in the city because the EMF is completely, utterly polar opposites. So you will notice a difference mentally how you feel. You can correlate this into linear time. When you're in the city, linear time goes in quotation marks faster. If you are a low productivity person, then going into the city may benefit your life path of speeding up your processes throughout the day. If you're like me and you're always high driven, high dopaminergic drive, it might benefit you from going into the country and slowing down your linear time. This is all in correlation with your aurora. So this is an actual scientific fucking thing for all the little bitch boy nerds, and I'm about to fucking prove it. So I'm going to be reacting to Museum of Tarot. I highly recommend you follow this guy. I have no idea how this guy stays afloat just the way I stay afloat, right? So I always appreciate you guys supporting shadow band creators. Museum of Tarot is going to feature Dicyanin glasses. So you can see people's auroras, and you can also see auroras at religious sites. So when you go to a church, why do you feel that sort of way when you go in there? Number one, you have stained glass, which is changing your electromagnetic frequency, and you have everyone letting off their auroras and their emotions in the church, and that leaks out. And you can see that with Dicyanin glasses. Scientifically, I'm not talking out of my ass. I know I'm tinfoil hat Russo over here, but this spiritual biohacking is some real shit. And with the current spiritual war going on right now, it'd be kind of cool if you NPCs kind of, had a little in, and Museum of Tarot breaks it down. So I'm going to showcase his product for you guys to look into.
You're always asking me why Dicyanin got banned, so let's take a look. I promised everybody that I would be mixing up some Dicyanin for you to see in real time, and that I'd do a comparison with our goggles, vintage goggles, and other things that are on the market, and show you just what is real and what isn't.
So these goggles are impossible to fucking get. I posted this on my story at Russo Lifts, follow me there. And everyone's like, where do you get the goggles? Where do you get the goggles? I have no idea how this guy is selling these goggles, but I am going to be picking up a pair myself to, again, train my eyes. These are very hard to train your eyes to look through these. So I definitely recommend you get the multi-lens kit and work your way up. But this 100% scientifically proves the aurora.
So let's get into it. I'll keep this demonstration simple. I've got some Dicyanin, some water, some mixing tools, and a white monster because Spirit Daddy needs his go juice. So what is Dicyanin really? You can see here that Dicyanin is a purple crystal. It's a coal tar dye derivative that was made about 120 years ago. Up till that point, the color purple was very difficult to get to dye textiles. It's very expensive. And then they started pulling these different colors out of coal tar. They started to refine this and turn it into dyes. Now, this revolutionized the textile industry, and a lot of different colors were made available to the public, but it was also a lot of problems because the main suppliers were in Germany. Now, I don't know who's been paying attention, but Germany had a couple of little hiccups about 100.
I would honestly pay Andrew for this guy to be like one of my college professors. Like this guy's that level to where I'm like tranced when I watch his TikTok in full fucking beta sigma nerd mode, absorbing it like a fucking sponge.
Years ago, World War I and World War II. So getting this dye became problematic at certain points, even for Dr. Kilner. Kilner himself noted in his book many different delays that he had getting this in from Germany.
Okay, so I just wanted to showcase Dr. Kilner, and of course, Museum of Terra features the book. This guy backs everything with US patents, as well as the doctors who get the fucking when they start doing this sort of shit. So you can definitely support his content on TikTok. I just wanted to showcase these goggles in action. So he goes around to religious sites and actually looks at them through the goggles.
This is a fantastic game on this trip. I brought my... It's another form. In recent times, in the Eastern Bloc in Russia, it's actually been accepted by physics and is called bioplasma. This is not theoretical. There have been many papers and many researchers that have proven this out. The actual physics definition is bioplasma is a state of mutually interacting interconnected fields and positively and negatively charged particles in an organic semiconductor.
And some fucking nerd will say magic and spirituality is fake. Well, go read into bioplasma. This shit is always covered up. I'm just putting it out there.
Bioplasma is sealed in the protein semiconductors or piezoelectric organic compounds. And there we see the interaction and the piezoelectric qualities of these ancient sacred sites that I'm speaking about in places like the Hexentanzplatz and the Kiffhauser. These sites really do lend themselves to a sense of the sacred. There is a heightening and a quickening of energy when you're at the sites.
I 100% agree. If you go to like the biggest church in your area and you sit in there and you open your mind, you notice the frequency change. Again, I've noticed this my entire life. I thought something was wrong with me when I was younger.
And it's not just psychoacoustics, and it's not just bioenergy. It's an intermingling of all of the above. And indeed, some of these sites, like the Externstein, if you put yourself into a meditative state or use something like the Mind-to-Mind headset, you will have an extraordinary experience, which I will show you more in that episode. The high-level occultists who built these sites on the backbone of ancient sacred pagan sites and energetic centers knew what they were doing.
So again, if this video gets a lot of likes, I can go into more demonic spiritual biohacking, but this is just the intro. But a lot of these sites were built upon pagan altars, and a lot of the most influential people in the United States, I think everyone knows the island I'm talking about, where also had houses and would live above pagan altars.
These sites continue to work now, even thousands of years after they were discovered by our ancestors. And I only hope that the footage that I'm finally able to give the world is going to show you all just how powerful these centers really are, and rekindle a new sense of appreciation for our ancient past, where we were all more connected. Ancient past. On the occultists who built these sites on the back at the sites of the interact proven this out. There are many names. Another form of organic energy, electricity, you can actually feel it at the sites, which is why these places are so powerful for people like myself and others. In the commenter's question, they ask whether or not this is electricity that's being used to stimulate the mind and awaken consciousness. And the answer is no, it's not.
Here's a religious site. As you can see, the aurora. Look how big this building is, and the aurora is shooting off that much. You're going to be able to feel that. That's going to penetrate through your own electromagnetic field, change your frequency, change your brain waves, and everything in between. This is not very well understood. This is hidden information. This is why I joke about neuroscience. This is why I joke about it. Until they accept all this shit, study this shit, and then showcase the synergies connected, which in my opinion can only be accomplished through artificial intelligence, machine learning of how this works, right? Until we get to that level of AI, we're not going to truly know how this works. It's a real thing. This is a real thing. I don't want to hear no bullshit in the comments on how spiritual biohacking is bullshit. It's not. I don't know how to prove it. Museum of Terra has every single patent, features every single doctor that got about this. And overall, I just want this information to get out because I see the 5G destroying everyone around me. I'm very aware of it. I'm a high vibration person. I lost all my vibration being castrated as fuck, and I'm back And this is why I wanted to feature upon my return to consciousness. I'll see you guys in my next video.